as a super event and a super big date, as was October 17th with our partnership with ESPN, where we wanted to bring, what would be, a big night for the sport to the biggest platform on the broadest basis. And in doing so, we were strategic in figuring out exactly what we were going to do and who could anchor it and what the matches could be. And obviously the success of Loma Lopez has fueled incredible success to bring the November 14th to prime time and to big awareness. Obviously having Terence Crawford and Kell Brook, who are, established big names and the biggest names in the sport on the biggest platform, only helps the sport and obviously helps everybody get exposure and creates more excitement around it. More importantly, we have on the the supporting fight. As we know, Josh Franco and Andrew Moloney had a terrific first bubble fight. I think it was really difficult getting fights into our bubble and into our environment in this first tranche, and both Andrew and his brother were terrific in committing to come to America early and saying we want to be available and we want to fight. And that was special because during the COVID time it was very difficult. And Andrew put his title on the line and came up a little short. But I think this is the time that he wants to get it back and bring it back to Australia. So at this point, I'd like to bring it back to who's now challenging for the title. I think he feels like he let this one get away the first time, and I think he wants to get that back. And it was a terrific fight, and most people were on the edge of their seat wondering who was going to win. But this time, I think Andrew has something to say. So let's start the conference call. Let's fire it away, and let's Andrew tell everybody how you're doing and training's been going, and let's go from there.
Yep. Thanks, Todd. You're exactly right. I'm here to get my title back. There's no doubt in my mind that I didn't perform at my best in that first fight. Nowhere near my best, to be perfectly honest. And since that day, 5 months ago, I've thought about this rematch every single day. And I'm just so excited to have my opportunity to get revenge and to get my world title back. And I've trained extremely hard to make sure that happens on this Saturday night. I've left no stone unturned, and I've had a great preparation, and I'm really excited and really looking forward to getting my world title back on Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Andrew. As I mentioned, or as I've mentioned on these calls, you can either use the raise hand button on your Zoom or just send me a private message in the Zoom chat, and I will get to as many questions as possible. Remember, we have 4 fighters with us today, so if I don't get to you on the first one, I'll do my best to get to as many different people as possible. But I think it's only fitting that we kick off the call from Down Under with Jason from Fight View, Australia. Jason, please fire ahead when ready.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. G'day, Andrew. How you going, mate? Just wanted to know what weaknesses do you see in Franco's chinks in his armour that you can expose for this fight to win your title back? And if you are successful, will there be a rubber match? And is there a chance that rubber match could come to Australia? Love the patriotism, mate. Love the flag in the background. Good on you.
G'day, Jason. Thanks, mate. Look, it's not so much weaknesses in Franco's game. It's just that I believe all round I'm a better boxer than he is. And I know I didn't show that in the first fight, but I believe that I will show that this Saturday night. And tune in because you're going to see a much better performance from me this time around. In terms of the rubber match, look, I'm not thinking about that at the moment. I'm just 100% focused on winning this fight on Saturday night. And then it's up to Top Rank and my team what happens next. But I mean, at the moment, I've thought about Franco every day for the last 7 months, and I just want to win this fight and get him out of my head, to be honest. But if the trilogy is wanted and that's what the team wants to do, then of course I'll be up for it.
Thank you very much. And now we go over to Carlos Toro. Carlos, please unmute and ask a question when ready.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. I know you're not the type of guy that makes excuses, after a loss, but how much did, the reported perforated eardrums that you suffered kind of affected you in that fight against Joshua Franco?
Hey, Carlos. Look, it's been sort of public knowledge that both my eardrums were perforated in that first fight. And look, I don't want to make excuses, but it did affect my performance. My balance was affected quite a lot, and it affected me from fighting at my best. But look, he won the fight. There's no excuses. I want to go into this fight and, show that I'm much better than I was that first time around and win this rematch and put that behind me.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Now we go next to J.R. Bell. Please, I'm asking you to unmute, so please unmute and ask your question, sir.
Just giving into this particular rematch, going into preparation for this fight, is there any differences from this fight compared to the last fight, like as far as like travel or being in camp earlier this time around than last time around?
Travel, I've been over here in America longer this time. I've been here for 6.5 weeks, had some great sparring over here. And preparation has been a little bit longer. I started training as soon as I got back home to Australia. We had to do hotel quarantine when we arrived back home last time, and I was training in the hotel room because I was just that motivated to get my world title back. So I've been training really hard for the last 5 months. So it's been a long camp and I'm in the best shape of my life. So Saturday night, I'm here to do a job and to get my world title back.
Thank you very much. And now we move things along to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, you were unmuted, so please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Andrew, do you believe with this fight you can steal the show, you can steal the night? Because Franco is going to try to keep the belt, but you are really hungry. So definitely it sounds that you can steal the show.
Yeah, you're right. I'm extremely hungry. And yes, I know that Franco is not going to want to give that belt up. So I'm expecting a great fight. The first fight, people like the first fight, and I believe this fight's going to be even better. And you're definitely going to see a much better performance from myself. So, yeah, I think you're right. And this fight might steal the show on Saturday night.
Maybe it sounds crazy, but why? I have to watch this fight.
Because you're going to see me do absolutely everything I can to get my world title back. And I'm sure Franco's not going to want to give it up. So expect fireworks, expect a great fight, and expect me to come out with that belt around my waist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ernesto. As a riminder, anybody wants to ask a question, please use the raise hand function on the screen, or send a direct message through the chat, and I will get to as many people as possible. So now we've got a couple more questions. Gaz from behind the gloves. Gaz Singh, please unmute yourself and ask a question when ready.
Hey, Andrew. It's Gaz from behind the gloves here. It was a great back and forth fight between you and Joshua the first time round. Had there been any changes to your camp? Have you done anything differently to prepare for him this time than you did the first time?
Hey, Gaz. Yeah, look, it's more the tactics that are different this time around. We've obviously been able to watch that first fight back quite a lot of times and see and put together a really good game plan for this Saturday night. And you're going to see a much different performance from myself, a different game plan this time around. And I believe a much more dominant performance. So I can't give too much away, obviously, in terms of the tactics, but it will be a different fight this time around. And I believe a dominating performance from myself.
Thank you very much, Gaz. I appreciate that. And now we go all the way over to the UK. Jonathan Nagoth, you've been asked to unmute, so please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
Thanks, Evan. Hey, Andrew, John here from Pro Boxing Fans. is there anything that specifically surprised you about Jason last time out? And do you want to win this fight emphatically and send out a statement with this in this fight?
Hey, John. The performance from Joshua, you mean? Yeah. Okay. No, nothing really surprised me from what he brought last time. His style doesn't change too much from fight to fight. He comes forward, throws a lot of punches and puts the pressure on. And he's very good at that. He's a good fighter. But I believe we've got the tactics this time and the skills to win this fight convincingly. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got a good game plan. I've had a tremendous training camp. I've been sparring better than ever. I'm in great form, and I believe you'll see that on Saturday night.
Thank you very much. And now we go back to the U.S. Keith Eidick from Boxing Scene. You're unmuted, Keith. Please go ahead when ready.
Hi, Andrew. Was there anything different about Franco that you saw in that fight that you weren't anticipating? And was he better maybe overall than you expected?
Hey, Keith. Similar to the last question. He wasn't really different to what I expected. He was basically exactly as I expected. And I knew that Franco was a good fighter. Take nothing away from him. But I believe overall I'm a better boxer than he is, a better fighter than he is. And as I said, I didn't show that at the first time around, but I will show that this Saturday night.
The last fight obviously was very close. What did you think of the decision?
Yeah, it was a close fight. I started the fight quite well. I believe I was definitely in front for the first half of the fight. I obviously sustained a few injuries in that fight, and those affected me throughout the later part of that fight, which he ended up coming home strong and just pinching a decision. So it was a close fight. And yeah, the decision was fair. I'm not going to complain about the decision. But as I said, I know that I can do much, much better than I did in that first fight. And Saturday night is my chance. I'm extremely grateful that the Top Rank have given me the opportunity to have this rematch. And I'm going to put that right this time around. I'm going to make sure that I leave it all in the ring and I come home with that belt around my waist.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Keith. We got a few more minutes with Andrew. So if anybody has final questions, again, just send me you can send me a direct message in the chat or on the raise hand button on your Zoom. So however you want to ask a question, please do so. So hold on one second. I think we got a couple more questions coming into the queue. It looks like Jason from FightView back to Australia. Jason from FightView 360 has one more question. So Jason, back from down under, please ask your question when ready, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. Andrew, in regards to the scope of Australian boxing, how do you think things are going at the moment? Because at the moment, the opportunities have never looked better. There's yourself, there's your brother, there's Andrew, George Kambosos Jr. is now mandatory for Teofimo Lopez. Just on a whole, how do you think things are going for Australian boxing?
Yeah, I think Australian boxing is in a really good position at the moment. There's a lot of great fighters coming through. As you mentioned, myself and Jason over here and George Kambosos had a good win the other week over in the UK. And there's a lot of good, promising fighters also around the Australian scene. And look, I want to win on Saturday night to show the other Australians that it is possible to come over here to America, to the big stage, and to win and to beat these guys and to win world titles and to fight on the big stage. So winning on Saturday night is going to show that for the up and coming fighters in Australia that it is possible, and to help grow the sport in Australia, which is a really big thing for me. I want the sport to grow in Australia and us fighters to get the recognition we deserve.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jason, and thank you very much, Andrew. So again, just a quick refresher. Andrew will attempt to regain his world title in the co-feature against Joshua Franco Saturday night. Andrew, we really appreciate you taking out the time to talk to everybody today. And again, the telecast starts 10 p.m. Eastern, ESPN and ESPN Deportes. We are going to take a brief break as Kell Brook is logging in any minute. So we will be back momentarily with the other challenger from Saturday night, Kell Brook. So please hold on a couple of minutes and we'll be right back. Thank you.
This one's middle. Jump off. Yeah.
Hey, welcome everybody back. That was a very quick break because joining us now on the line is the former welterweight world champion who's only lost once as a welterweight on a 4-fight winning streak, but he's attempting to regain the welterweight world championship this weekend, live from Las Vegas vis-a-vis Sheffield, England. It's a special one. Kell Brook joining us on the call. Kell, can you hear us? Hold on, ask Kell to unmute. Just 1 second.
I've done it, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Hey, Kay, welcome to the call, Mr. Kell Brook. I know you've answered this question a lot, but for everybody here, you're coming into this fight with a lot to prove. You haven't been on this championship stage in a few years. So what can the world expect from Kell Brook now that maybe they haven't seen you on this stage in a little bit?
I expect fireworks. I've been here before, been on this stage. I've been in there with pound for pound top fighters in Golovkin and Errol Spence. I ripped the title away from Sean Paul in America. I know what it takes to be champion.
Thank you very much, Kell. And we've got a bunch of people in the chat. So again, raise your hands to ask questions or privately message me, and I'll get to as many questions as possible. So we are going to start with JR Bell. JR, please unmute and ask question when ready, sir.
All right there, Kell. Given the thing here with the circumstances about travel restrictions, if I'm not mistaken, you don't have your head trainer available. So how is it not having your head trainer coming over to Las Vegas for this particular fight?
It's been, listen, the job is going to get done regardless, and I'm in with a super top trainer who's going to be one of the best trainers in the world after I beat Terence and Carlos Fermento. We've been going through the game plan day in, day out. We know what we need to do in this fight, and I'm fit, I'm lean, I'm a fighting machine ready to go, and I've been working every day on what I need to do against someone like Terence. So, you know, I've been in this sport for 25 years. I know what I need to do. You know what I mean? I've been world champion. I know what it takes to be the best. So, you know, I'm ready to go.
Thank you very much. And now we go to Cameron Wolf from ESPN.com. Cameron, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Kell, what's up, man? Obviously, you're confident you can win this fight. So what do you think a fight looks like on Saturday if it's going well for you?
It's about just getting into my rhythm, being positive. You know, and you know, I've got the accuracy, I've got the size, I've got everything what it takes to be champion. I've got the desire, and I've got the power to, you know, to overwhelm Crawford and get into my rhythm.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cameron. Now we go ahead to the UK with Pep Talk in the UK. I'm asking you to unmute. Please unmute and then ask your question when ready, sir.
Kell, how you doing?
How we doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I've got to ask you, your old nemesis, Amir Khan, is wishing you good luck coming the weekend. What do you make of his comments?
I don't know what to say. You know, he changes his mind one day to the next. You know, it's a positive message. I can't say anything negative, you know, but I'm not focused on what people are saying because, you know, most of them are negative. As long as what my immediate team around here think and what job we need to do, and that's to become victorious Saturday night. So that's the main thing.
Thank you very much, Pep Talk. We are going to go to now Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith, go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell, do you think in some ways that Amir was saying what he said because if you win, it's obviously better for you two to fight in a bigger fight in the UK?
There's always something up his sleeve. He said, I'm not focused on Amir Khan. I'm focused on Terence Crawford, So let's talk Terence.
ESPN aired something last night that debuted in the United States in which Terence Crawford was asked to list his bucket list, so to speak, of welterweights he would like to fight before he retires. He listed 4 people, and your name was not one of them. How much motivation does that provide to you that he's not even really talking about you, so to speak, when you're fighting him on Saturday?
He's going to have a rude awakening, I'll tell you that. He's going to have a rude awakening on Saturday night when he gets in there. He's going to know real quick, real fast in the fight that, he should have put me on top of that list.
Do you think, and I know Terence is obviously a smart guy and arguably the best fighter in the world, but do you think in some way he's overlooking you in any way?
Yeah, I hope he is. Because I'm coming with force. Trust me.
Thank you, Kell.
Thank you. And wow, I didn't realize that Kell Brook was fighting Amir Khan this week. And Terence fought him in April 2019. So let's please keep the questions to the fight at hand, folks. The fight at hand, not Amir Khan, if possible. So now we go to Ryan Elliott. Ryan, please unmute and go ahead.
Hi, Kell. Thank you for your time. Just a quick one from me. How significant is it for you going into this fight not having that rehydration clause for a big welterweight such as yourself?
To be honest with you, on our made weight this time, it's not that much of a big deal, but I suppose it is a big deal, to be honest with you, because I don't want to be thinking about watching me water and watching me food intake. I just want to weigh in and relax and then concentrate on the fight instead of concentrate on making the weight again. So it's going to be something different to making welterweight and then just focusing on Terence Crawford instead of the weight check.
Thank you very much. And now we go ahead to Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Great. Thank you very much, Evan. It's actually perfect timing. Kell, I did want to ask, what was the biggest change that you made in training camp to ensure that you're able to make welterweight, since this is your first welterweight fight in 3 years?
Losing weeks, just being around Sheffield and losing weeks, just not really full, being around my surroundings, what I'm normally used to, and just, not being as strict as I could be on the diet. What I did when I knew that I needed to get away as soon as possible to Fort Ventura, where when I'm waking up and I know that my girls aren't around me, and I'm waking up in a different country knowing that I'm going to the gym and I'm doing it for a reason. I made sure that the training were hard and the dieting were hard from the first week I knew this fight were on.
Okay, great. Thanks. Good to have you back, Kell. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
And now we go ahead. Carlos Toro, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Obviously kind of going off a little bit of Jake's question. Going back to just making the adjustments and heading down to welterweight, when it comes down to now having to deal with the bubble and everything that comes with the current pandemic situation that we got going on, how much different and how difficult has it been to kind of get everything just situated, done, and also having to go down to welterweight with it being your first fight in that weight?
Like I said, I started early, so I had in the plan getting ill. These kind of situations, I made time early doors just for in case I got ill or in case these kind of things happen. So we're well ahead, and everybody's making weight. Everyone's in the same, doing the same thing. Everyone's finding it tough with this COVID, but I'm in a great place in my mind, and my weight is fantastic for this fight. So forget the weight. The weight's made.
Thanks, Kell. Best of luck on Saturday.
And thank you, Carlos. And we go ahead back to the UK. Jonathan Nagoff. Jonathan, please unmute when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell. John here from Pro Boxing Fans. Hope you're well. Where would a win over Terence Crawford firstly rank compared to your victory over Sean Porter? And secondly, just a message to the UK fans tuning in on Premier Sports on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it's got to be above the Sean Porter just for everything I've been through, everyone writing me off. I think you've got to put it up there because this is the pound for pound best fighter in the world, you know, and you've got to put it as number one. You know, nobody's done that in history from Britain. And I'm glad that all the fans are able to see it on Premier Sport, like you said. You know, they're going to stay up and enjoy me becoming two-time world champion.
And thank you very much, Jonathan. And we go ahead to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir. Oh, one more. I actually got unmuted one more time, Ernesto. I accidentally muted you. Ernesto?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Thank you, Ernesto.
Kell, it's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. Let me ask you one question. For most of the fighters, it looks impossible against Crawford, but not for you. Could you explain this? Because I truly believe that you can be a nightmare.
Yeah, listen, my style, I can box orthodox, southpaw, you know, I've got great balance, great timing. I'm a big welterweight, the power's there, the mindset's there, you know, so I'm definitely, you know, a fighter, what is a very scary fighter. You know, when I'm on point and I'm feeling the way I am, I'm dangerous for any fighter in any weight division in the world. So, you know, I'm very focused and this is my moment now. And, you know, I'll be able to compete with the best and you'll see me from round one, you know, take control of this fight.
Thank you very much. And now we go back to Gaz from behind the gloves. Gaz, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell, it's Gaz from behind the gloves. A few people have touched on it already, but you're a big welterweight. You're bigger than Crawford. You're broader than Crawford. Do you think that your size is going to play a factor in this fight? And were you actively looking to put those chocolate brownies on?
Yeah, them chocolate brownies, they're definitely brewing up. They're cooking up nicely now. And I am the bigger guy, you know, and it's everything. It's all about preparation and, you know, the hard work's done before the bright lights. So I've been grueling it out for months, dieting hard for months, and you'll see the hard work, what I've put in come Saturday night. You'll see the shape of me on the scale. You'll see me refueled, relaxed, and ready to let them brownies go.
Hey, thank you very much. I can't believe it took us 15 minutes for a chocolate brownie reference. So, Gaz, you are the MVP of this call so far. Thank you very much, sir. Next, we go to Cynthia Conte from Ring TV. Cynthia, you should be unmuted, so please go ahead when ready. Cynthia, you're unmuted, Cynthia. Please go ahead.
Kell, I know that you've had some incredible wars against Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin, and unfortunately, you suffered 2 orbital broken bones. Many people thought you would retire after those fights, after those wars. What was that conversation you had to have with yourself, with your trainer, and with your family to come back and step into the ring because your health was at hand?
Hey, I think I don't, Kell, I don't know if you heard that, but I think she mentioned after those 2 losses, the conversations you had with your team and your family about continuing your career.
You know, I did have them conversations, but you know, this is the game I love and hate. It's all I know. It cleans my mind when I go into the gym and train and let them endorphins off, and you know, it's my living, and I love competing with the best. So once we're healed, you know, and my mindset was right, you know, I felt strong. You know, just like I do. I feel strong now. I don't really think about the breaks, and I feel that I know that I'm stronger than ever. So it's right over my head now. You know, I know that my surgeon, Dr. Muhammad Ali, looked after me very well, and they called me the Terminator now. So I'm ready to walk through walls now.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Next, we go to Jay Lee from secondhouse.com. You are unmuted, so please ask your question when ready.
Hi, Kell. I hope you're all right, mate. Jolie from Seconds out here. Just as you're aware, I'm sure this is one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of your career. being as that you're going to leave everything on the line on Saturday night, of course, is there a chance that metaphorically you're going to leave your career on the line and in the ring on Saturday night?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Metaphorically, you're going to leave everything in the ring on Saturday night and also your boxing career?
No, I'm not going to leave my boxing career because I'm going to become victorious and I'm going to be fighting Terence Crawford, will be coming to England for rematch. So looks like I'll be fighting again, won't I, for you to see, actually. You won't have to travel.
Yes. Look forward.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. My apologies. My apologies for the premature mute there, Mr. Lee. I apologize for that. Again, everybody, to ask a question, please go to the raise hand function or send me a direct message on the queue down below. Or if you can't figure those out, just shoot me a text message and I will get to as many of you as possible. It looks like Jonathan Nagoff from Pro Boxing Fans has another question. So Jonathan, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Yeah, Kell, I spoke to Johnny Nelson and he said that Kell Brook doesn't take himself away to future Ventura for nothing, and that going out there, you're going to be concentrated and fully focused on this fight. But he said that you have to be at your best for 12 rounds to win this. What have you made? What have you ensured to? What have you done to ensure that you're going to be at your best on Saturday night to beat Terence Crawford?
You know, I've got to do absolutely everything right. I'm fighting the best pound-for-pound fighter, so you'd have to be an absolute idiot to not prepare fully. So I've been meticulous for my training, and I've been making sure I'm the first one in the gym and the last one out, and putting the hard work in. Where fighters, want to stop, I keep going forward. So, I've got in reserves for this fight, and I've been watching my weight, and just being focused, being away from my girls and knowing what I'm doing it for. And, I'm fully focused on this fight. I've never been ready for a fight like this before. So I'm happy and I'm looking forward to whatever Terence brings, because I can match him. I'm ready for a war.
Do you believe you stop Terence Crawford on Saturday night?
I believe I stop him or he quits on stool.
Cheers, Kell.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm looking at a couple more questions. In the queue. So just hold on one second while I get to the next question. Looks like JR Bell has one more question. So JR, please go ahead.
Now, given this fight against Terence Crawford, and a lot of people are talking about him being the top pound-for-pound guy, but you have faced a couple of guys that have been either listed in the pound-for-pound list or are in the list in Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin. So in this particular fight, what are you going to do in there to show that you are among one of the skilled fighters in the welterweight division?
I'm gonna have to show something I've never shown, and the preparation. Like Muhammad Ali says, before the bright lights, the hard work was in before the bright lights. So I'm fully prepared. Terence Crawford has never been in with a welterweight, the size and the confidence and everything that I own. He's not been in with Golovkin and Errol Spence, these pound for pound champions. He's never been in with anybody. And I'm prepared better than I did against these guys, and I'm fully healthy and ready. So, he knows he's in a massive fight. He knows he's gonna have his hands full. He knows this is self.
And Kell, before we get to the next question, just tell everybody, a lot of times when people travel from long distances for training camp, there's concern, they did not come, enough time to acclimate. How many weeks have you spent in Las Vegas? When did you arrive, and how long did it take you to fully acclimate to sort of the Western time zone and being 8 hours behind from where you came from?
It takes me about 10 days, and I'm there now. I'm feeling tired at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sleeping all the way through till 7, 8 morning, like I did back in England. So my body clock's adjusted to the Vegas time now. So everything's on point. The sleeping, my body clock's there. Everything is there. What's needed to win this fight.
Thank you very much for that, Kell. We have a couple more questions, and I know you got to get to training, so we will let you get to that, which is most important at this late juncture of training camp. Gail, please go. You're up, so please go ahead when ready.
Thank you very much, Kell. A lot of this discussion has brought up questions that indicate the doubters that are out there. Do you use that doubt to fuel you, much like you had doubters before you fought Sean Porter and you were able to take the win there? Do you turn that into a positive for yourself?
Big dog. That. You've got a big dog there like me. Big dog, ain't you? Listen, them doubters, they're the ones what you know what, I can see certain people doubting me and calling me out, who I know as well, and they're the ones what, make me want to do that extra round and push on harder, because I can't wait to see them after the fight. I can't wait to see them when I'm crowned the champion, of the world. And again, and I'm not just a normal champion. I want that Ring Magazine belt. I want to be the best fighter pound for pound in the world. I want to take his title there. There's a lot at stake for me, and I've got the pressure is on myself to go out there and be great.
Thank you very much, Gail. And now the dog has stolen the show. That was impressive. Next week, a couple more questions. We're going to go back to the UK. Our friends at Boxing UK. You should unmute, so please go ahead when ready.
Hi, Kell. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
How you doing, Steve?
Hello, mate. Kell, if you pull this off at the weekend, it's going to go down as one of the greatest performances abroad by a Brit. Are you disappointed that the TV coverage over here isn't what it should be for such a big fight?
I'm disappointed. I've been with Sky Sports for years. They've seen me fight, become world champion. They've seen me being in some thrillers. And it's a shame that they're not picking this fight up. But you've got to spin it into a positive. It's going to be on Premier Sports. All the fans are going to be able to see it still, but the platform would have been the best on Sky, wouldn't it?
It would have, mate. And you've already touched on the answer to the next one. If you do the job, is there a rematch clause, and would you bring them back over to the UK?
The rematch clause, and you'll be able to see it, won't you?
Good man. Do you still love the Geordies?
Still love the Geordies.
Good lad. Kell, best of luck on Saturday, mate.
Top man.
Hey, thank you very much for that. And as a reminder to our great fans in the UK, it is available on Premier Sports 1 sometime, I guess late Saturday night / early Sunday morning. So a reminder everybody in the UK that it's on a subscription cable network over there in the UK. So anybody who wants to watch it will have the opportunity to do so. Cal, before I let you go, any final thoughts as you head into your last week of training camp, and as we are now, I guess, 5 days out from the biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, my mind's focused now on training on the game plan and executing the game plan this Saturday night.
Well, all business, Kel, as usual. Kel, we appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to training. And thank you once again. And as a reminder, we will take a few minute break while we wait Joshua Franco. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kel. We'll be back with everybody soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. Joshua Franco is here, the defending WBA super flyweight world champion, who's looking to repeat what he pulled off in June, which was a major upset of Andrew Moloney. This time, I don't know what the odds are, but it's probably pretty close, so it wouldn't be as big of an upset this time around. So from San Antonio, Texas, Joshua Franco joining us here. Joshua, how are you, sir?
Good, good. How are you?
Great, great. So before we get to the questions, and again, for questions, raise hand button, message in the chat below, or if you can't figure those out, just shoot me a text and I will get you in the queue. So Joshua, it's been, what, 4 months, 5 months since you shocked a lot of people inside the bubble. How much of an advantage is it now coming back to the bubble, having experienced that the first time and knowing what to expect in that environment?
Yeah, I think it's a good advantage just because I've been in there before. I've experienced it, and I know how it is to be in the bubble.
Yeah, no, it's obviously it's a certainly a unique atmosphere. So we will get started with the questions. Gaz Singh from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please unmute and ask your question.
Hey, Joshua. Nice to speak to you. Basically, over in the first fight, you threw 40 more punches overall than Maloney did, and that played a factor in you taking a belt from him. Do you think that your work rate is going to be one of the keys to victory in this rematch?
Of course, I could slow down my work rate, or I could pick it up, whenever I want to, and I just feel like that's going to be an advantage for sure.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Sorry for the delay, guys. Next up, we go to Southern California with Miguel Maravilla. Miguel, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, Josh, how's it going? First of all, man, how's the confidence coming into the second fight? We know the first fight was going to be a tough one for you. It was going to be, quite a fight to get that world title. How do you feel coming into the second fight, you and Robert?
I feel very confident just because I've been in the ring with Andrew Moloney before. I know what he has. I'm always confident. Of course, my training went well. I had a tough training camp, and that also brings my confidence up. So, I'm just ready for whatever.
Thank you very much, Miguel. And now we go ahead to J.R. Bell. J.R., please go ahead when ready.
All right, there. Following up on the question about work rate, there was the other thing in this fight where it seemed like you were able to take the punches there from Andrew Moloney. So going into that, do you feel like you are confident that you could, take what Moloney can give and just bring it right back like you did in the first fight?
Of course, I took his best punches in the fight, and I know what he has. So, to me, I didn't feel much from him. So, I'm very confident, and I just feel like my work rate in this fight's going to take over, and I'm going to start from the beginning.
All right. Thank you very much. And now let's see who else we have in the queue. Jason from Fight View 360 over in Australia. Jason, please go ahead when ready.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. Yeah, g'day, Josh, mate. First of all, congratulations on the win, mate, even though you beat an Aussie. Mate, has anything changed for your preparation for this fight, for the last fight? And I'll also ask the same question I asked Andrew. If things don't go your way on Saturday night, would you be interested in the trilogy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that again? I lost you right there. I'm sorry.
Sorry, mate. Has anything changed for your preparation from the last fight to this fight? And if things don't go your way on Saturday night, obviously I'm hoping they don't because I'm an Aussie, would you be interested in the trilogy?
Nothing's changed, for this fight in camp. I'm always training hard. The only thing I would say is I got tougher sparring for this fight. And, and if, things don't go my way, I'm not even thinking about that. But if they don't, then maybe the trilogy, who knows? We'll see what happens. I've been there before, so why not? But it's not going to happen.
Oh, we'll see Saturday night, mate. Good on you.
Thank you very much, Jason. And now we go back to Carlos Toro. Carlos, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, Joshua, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. You're no stranger to preparing and fighting in rematches. You got the trilogy against Oscar Negrete that ended last year. So when it comes to preparing for a rematch, in terms of approaching it from a game plan standpoint, do you change anything as far as seeing what can be done differently in this fight, even though you were victorious? Because even though you're more familiar with Andrew, the same could be said, vice versa. And do you feel like you kind of rely more on the winning game plan other than besides, adjusting to different things that he might do differently?
Well, I'm just very prepared for anything he brings. When like you said, I have the trilogy under my belt, but I mean, they're both different fighters, and I just feel like once I get in the ring, I'm gonna just make my adjustments and just do what I have to do.
Thanks, Joshua. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. Next, we go over to Shane Dyer from the UK. Shane, please go ahead when ready.
Thank you, Evan. Hello, Josh. Shane here for Boxing Social.
How's it going?
A win on Saturday could potentially open up a few big fights for yourself, considering looking at the other world champions at your division. Has that been on your mind at all since you've become world champion?
Of course. It's been on my mind before I even became world champion. Now that I'm world champion, even more, I'm right there to, for the bigger fights. And, a win on Saturday night will open up, big doors for me. And I know it's going to happen.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you very much, Shane. And now we have a couple questions from Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith, you should be unmuted and go ahead when ready.
Hey, Joshua. How is winning a world title, particularly after everything you went through in the previous 2 years between getting, losing by TKO and then the 2 draws with Negrete, how has it changed your life and what has it been like for you the last few months?
Oh yeah, it changed my life a lot. Like you said, those past 2 years that I had, I had my ups and downs. But now that I'm a world champion, I'm in the talks with big names. Chocolatito, Gallo Serrata, Jerwin and Cajas. All of those top guys. And it's just a dream come true.
From a personal perspective, what has it been like, down there in San Antonio? I know it's a town with rich boxing history and everything. What has that been like for you?
It's been good. A lot more respect. To be one of the few world champions in San Antonio, it means a lot. And just coming from a boxing city like San Antonio, it's great.
I know Mario Barrios beat you to the punch a little bit a couple of days ago or last week when he became the first from San Antonio to defend the title. But what would it mean to kind of, to become at least the second one to do that?
It will mean everything. Just another history mark for San Antonio and for me as well.
What did you think of I know you're the fight, so I guess all's well that ends well, but what did you think of the scoring, being that the knockdown was the difference on 2 of the cards and, you were a knockdown away from it being a majority draw?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I felt like I dominated more than, the scorecard said. And, what can I do? It wasn't up to me. The judges chose that, but this time I'll make sure it's different.
Meaning that you'll try to get him out of there more, or what do you mean by that?
Just make the win more clear. If the knockout comes, then it comes. But if not, then I'm going to dominate all 12 rounds.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And next we go to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and go ahead.
Hello, dear Joshua. It's not a question. It's something that you have on your back. You have millions of Mexicans behind you. What is the meaning for you? And if you can practice not only your English, but your Spanish too. So if you can tell me what is the meaning for you to have millions of Mexicans behind you in English and Spanish, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it means a lot. It motivates me more, just to have that blood, have the Mexican support behind me. It means a lot. My family's from Mexico, so I have a lot of support from Mexico as well, and Zacatecas. They support me over there. So, I appreciate all the support.
How about Spanish,
I
please?
can't translate in Spanish.
Well, just a little.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ernesto, and we go back to the UK. Jonathan Nagoff. Jonathan from Pro Boxing Fans in the UK, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hey, Josh. In the first fight, you went in as the underdog. What's the mentality like now, having defied the odds and won the fight? How are you approaching this fight mentally going into the second fight? And secondly, from the UK, I know you've mentioned before about a possible fight with Charlie Edwards. Is that something that still interests you should you be successful?
Mentally, I'm going to this fight very confident. I'm the world champion for a reason, and I'm gonna stay world champion. I'm still learning, and each day in the gym I'm learning more. So I know I'm gonna win Saturday night, and fight with Charlie Edwards. We'll see what happens in the future.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Again, as a reminder, raise hands, send a private message, or shoot me a text, and we will get to as many questions as possible. So we got a few more minutes with Josh. So anybody wants to ask a question to Josh, please go ahead when ready. So I'm just going to take a look at the chat queue here. Okay, looks like Miguel Maravilla has another question. So Miguel, please go ahead. Miguel, you're unmuted, so please ask your question when ready.
Hey, Joshua, you mentioned that the first time around, you scored the knockdown, but the scorecards were still close. Do you feel that this time around you're gonna need to put more pressure? You're gonna have to, win more convincingly?
Of course. Yeah, that's the mindset I have going into this fight.
What's the preparation been like with you and Robert?
Very tough preparation in the gym. 8 hard weeks of training, and I'm ready, more than ready.
Is the plan basically the same as the last time? Put pressure on the guy.
We'll see what happens in the fight. I'll make my adjustments. I am the better fighter. So I'm just looking for the win on Saturday night.
Thank you very much. So before we go, Joshua, is there anything you haven't told the boxing press? Anything that you didn't get off your chest that you really want to, as we approach 5 days before you defend your world title for the first time?
There's nothing, but I appreciate all the support, all the questions, and thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Joshua. We will see you in the bubble in a couple days for the press conference, and best of luck Saturday night. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And
thank you, Joshua. He's logging off now. We will be on with Terence Crawford will be joining us in a matter of minutes, so please stand by. We will resume the chat when the WBO welterweight champion of the world logs on. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Ready. And again, that was a very short break. And I think, as you can all see, the pound for pound king, WBO welterweight champion of the world, Terence Crawford, is here in the queue. And Terence, just reverse it. I think you're on sideways there for a quick second. But before we get to Terence, we'll bring it back to our top ranked president, Todd DeBuff. Todd, talk about sort of what went into making this fight with Kell Brook, and why, from your perspective, the Kell Brook fight was the fight to make, at the right fight to make at the right time.
Yeah, I think first of all, more importantly, hey champ, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
You good?
I'm good, man.
You're at the gym. You got the snow too, huh?
No, we ain't got it. We getting it tomorrow.
Oh, I got shitload here.
we getting it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, good seeing you, man. I'll see you in Vegas this week. Anyway, good having you. How's training going? Everything good?
Everything great. Everything great. Right. We just ready to rock and roll.
Great. So, I want to just expand on this. Listen, Terence is, from the lightweight champion to the super lightweight unified champion to the welterweight king, and obviously now the pound for pound king. There has never been anybody he's ever wanted to duck or hide from or anything like that. So we've always lined up the best fights for him and who's ever available. And anybody else that says that Terence isn't fighting anybody else, they could look at, it's not Terence. He wants to fight everybody. So we've been lining it up. So the burden is on everybody else to fight him. He's the king. Kell Brook obviously has a big storied history. Obviously with his big win over Sean Porter a number of years ago and jumping up in weight class to fight Golovkin, and then which was an impressive but tough fight for him when Golovkin was at his peak, and then losing a close one with Errol Spence. More importantly, I think what we've seen is that if anyone didn't see, Terence was terrific on this show on ESPN this week called Relentless. And I think it really personifies the Terence Crawford story. Just about where he comes from, how he fights, where he started from. Nobody babysat, nobody, spoon-fed, and worked his way up, clipping everybody off. And, it's been a great run and been real honor for all of us at Top Rank to create the body of work we have with Terence and to see the worldwide recognition as the king of the sport. So, I'd like to introduce it over and throw it over to Terence. And Terence, and keep in mind, Terence is no stranger to the bubble. He hasn't fought in the bubble, but he's been to the bubble. So he knows a little bit about what to expect. It is off. It's a little bit in an environment that it's different and we all are getting used to, but Terence has been in there, I think, in support of his stablemate Jamal Herring. And so he was in there and he knows what it's in front of him. So I'm going to throw it over to the champ and tell everybody how your training's going and what you're looking forward to.
Oh man, training's been great this camp. Everything has went according to plan, and we looking to go out there and look spectacular come Saturday.
Thank you very much, Terence. And we are going to start the question portion of this with Keith Eidig from Boxing Scene. So Keith, please go ahead when ready. You should be unmuted, sir.
Hey, Terence, I'm not sure if you heard any of what Kell Brook said earlier, but he said in a quote that he was either going to stop you or make you quit on your stool. What is your response to that?
Well, let's see. Words don't mean nothing. You're gonna have to really, really live up to them words that you actually saying you're gonna do.
Does it surprise? I don't remember hearing people say that about you when they got into the ring, before they got into the ring with you. Did it surprise you that he said that?
No.
Hey, Terence.
A lot of people.
Terrence, looks like we're having a bit of Terrence, looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulty here.
Stop.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. It looks like we had a bit of a technical difficulty on Terrence's end. Hold on, just be patient. Give me 1 second, and we will fix this. Hold on 1 second, guys. Thank you. Hey Terrence, sorry, it looked like there's a bit of a technical issues on your end with the phone. Can you hear us, Terrence?
Yeah, I can.
No, hey Terrence, it's nope. You gotta mute it.
Always y'all. That's what I was saying.
Fox is on. Let's see. Hey, sorry for the delay, everybody. We're just waiting, just getting Terrence back. Terrence, can you hear us? Hold on 1 second, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Terrence, can you hear us?
No, I think it's fine.
Hey, Terrence, can you hear us?
Is that better?
Much better, Terrence. Much
Yeah.
better. Thank you, Terrence. All right. So, hey, Keith, can you? We're gonna go back. We're gonna resume back to where we are, back to where we were. Keith, please go ahead. If you could re-ask the question you did, because I don't think I don't think we all heard Terrence's answer. So, Keith, please go ahead when ready.
I think all I had asked him was he surprised that Kell Brook said what he said about making him quit or stopping him in the fight?
I was saying, no, not really. You're supposed to feel that way coming into one of the biggest fights of his career. He's not the only opponent that went into a fight believing that they was going to stop me or knock me out. So that's nothing new for me. He's just going to have to live up to his words.
Thanks, Terrence.
Thank you very much, Keith. Let's see who else. Wait, now we go over to the UK with Pep Talk, our friends over there. So please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terrence, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Hey, what's going on?
Terrence, Kell Brook has questioned your credentials at 147 pounds and says that you've not fought anyone of note. Would you make of his comments?
Well, I'm fighting him, so that's all that matters. If he feels I never fought nobody at 147 or I don't have any credibility, then this should be a cakewalk for him.
You've been out the ring for almost a year. Is it a bit risky going back in the ring with a well-decorated fighter in Kell Brook at 147 pounds?
Not at all.
Former world champion.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm great. I feel good. I feel strong. I can fight at the end of the day. So being out the ring is not going to affect me or hurt me in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you very much. And again, please use the raise hand button or send a private message on the chat if you'd like to ask Terrence a question. So now we go back to the UK. Jonathan Nagyoff. Jonathan from Pro Boxing Fans, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, Terrence. Where do you rank Kell Brook in terms of the opponents you've faced in your whole career, and how long has Kell Brook been on your radar for?
Well, I actually can't rate him because I've never been in a ring with him yet. And actually, he never was on my radar from the jump. This was a fight that he wanted, that he kept calling for. And, once the Pacquiao fight didn't fall through, he was the next option, given that the circumstances of COVID and whatnot. So, I must have been on his radar. He never was on my radar, but he's on my radar now. And we fighting this week, and that's what it is.
All right. Thank you very much. And now we move ahead to Sean Zattel from Fight Hype. Sean, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terrence. I know from speaking with you in the past, you were talking about getting into, you were enforcing more exchanges or allowing more exchanges to happen, trying to please the fans, be in fights that please the fans. And do you want to, and then you talked about maybe getting more back to boxing heading into this next fight. Is that what we see with Brook? I mean, we know you've been boxing brilliant, but are you going to try and pitch more of a shutout performance or still go ahead and, let those exchanges rattle off so you can go for the knockout? Or
well, I'm gonna do me. Once I get in the ring and assess my opponent, And once the fight get going, then I'm gonna do me. If the knockout comes, it comes. If it don't, then we prepared to go 12 hard rounds.
Did you get a chance to see his last fight when he knocked out a fighter, Mark DeLuca? And what'd you think of that fight if you got a chance to see it?
I actually didn't get to see it. So,
how do you think too much is being made about the losses he's had in his past against Spence and Golovkin heading into this fight?
Yeah, I'm not worried about people trying to say he washed up or trying to downgrade him. I use that as a distraction. I'm prepared for the best Kell Brook that we possibly can prepare for come Saturday. And we're going to be ready for whichever Kell shows up this week.
If he does show up in that form, like he did against, Golovkin and Spence, what kind of fight do you think of it as in your head? How do you see it playing out?
It's going to be a good fight, but who knows? I'm sharp as a razor right now, so we're going to see.
Hey, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sean. Let's see who else we have over here in the chat queue. So we're going to go back. Terence, very popular in the UK since his days against Ricky Burns. We go to Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence, it's Gaz from Behind. It's been mentioned already that Kell Brooks fought Golovkin, Spence, where he's given a really good account of himself. Is there anything Kell Brook does that worries you?
Not at all. I didn't see it at all. Given that Kell Brook has fought a lot of good opponents.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
What's that?
I think that was on Gaz's end. So sorry, you were mentioning about Kell Brook.
No, I was just saying, we're gonna be ready for whatever. Like I'm not focused or worried about any of that Kell Brook, gonna bring to the table, because I'm gonna adjust to whatever it is that he does.
I guess now Terence is outside, so we go ahead to Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready.
Thank you very much, Evan. I have the same question for Terence and for Todd. It's about Relentless. Terence, I just wanted to know what you thought of seeing the shoulder programming going into this fight, and how it feels to have that kind of attention, that big fight attention, without it having to be a pay-per-view.
I don't know. I don't want to say it feels good for the content to be out there. I feel like it should always be out there, whether it's a pay-per-view or not. I consider this a big fight for boxing fans, and yeah.
Okay, very cool. Thanks, Terence. I appreciate it. And Todd, if you can kind of answer the same question, just how important is it for for Top Rank's best pound-for-pound fighter to get this type of attention?
Well, I mean, this is obviously, it's one of our priorities is constantly keeping it going and keeping the awareness and getting Terence Crawford as mainstream as possible. And I think we can all talk about in the boxing world how great he is, and we all live in a little, and sometimes a little world. And our job as his promoter and our job is to make him as big as possible. And when we bring him to the biggest platforms and the biggest network, when he's showing in his fights and they do big numbers, those are terrific. We have, obviously you saw Relentless. It was part of the, I think in Terence's last fight, we had blood, sweat, and tears. These are shows that we produce in-house. I think, and Terence can speak on it, I think Andre and Terence have a really good interaction. We saw that back in December when they sat down for a talk. And so when we did Relentless, I think the two of them feed off each other really well. And I think you get the best out of Terence there. And then we're going to have real time this week. So we'll have weekly posts of everything going on and content, being circulated everywhere to drive awareness. And this is what our job is. And then it's Terrence's job to come off the way he is and show people in the ring the night before and show people outside of the ring, who he is and what makes him so special.
Thanks so much, Terence. Best of luck this weekend. Good to have you back in the ring.
Thank you, Jake. And now we go to Eric Woodyard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now we go to Eric Woodyard from ESPN.com. Eric, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, what's up, Terrence? How you doing, man? You look
Hey, what's
around at
going on?
boxing right now. You look around at boxing right now. You see the lighter division. You see what Tank doing, and a lot of the just star-making performances that's been going around. Obviously, you've been getting TKOs and KOs and the things you've been doing. Do you feel any urgency to close the show in any type of way to really just train? I mean, obviously you big, like we just mentioned, big in boxing, but just to get that star-making performance as far as mainstream, do you feel a way that you have to win this fight a certain way to really cross over?
Not at all. Not at all. Me, how I go about fights is just make sure you get the win, no matter how they come. So I'm not going out there to try to outdo a previous performance or any other fighter. My thing is just to go out there and make sure I get the win and secure that first, and everything else can come second. If the knockout's there, of course I'm going to go out there and take it. But if it's not, then like I said before, we prepare for 12 hard rounds.
Is this a fun time in boxing for you right now? Just looking around at just all the young talent, is this a fun time to be a part of the sport right now?
It's always been a fun time to be a part of the sport. I couldn't think of a time when it wasn't.
All right. Thank you very much. And now we stay in Las Vegas. Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sam, please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Terence, thank you for the time today. Really appreciate it. A couple quick questions for you. I mean, with all this talk about, the mainstream and you being in the mainstream, I was just curious, right now, when you go out, say when you're out in public and when you're with your family in public, do you get approached and stopped a lot? Do people recognize you as arguably the best pound for pound fighter in the world? Do you get a lot of attention like that?
Of course, everywhere I go, people come up to me, say, yo, that's Terence Crawford, that's the best fighter in the world. It doesn't matter where I be, I done been all over the world, all across in different countries, and they still notice me, and that just let me know where I stand in the sport of boxing today.
Do you enjoy getting that kind of attention?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Sometimes, like when you're out with your family and you're eating, and one person want a picture and you don't want to seem like an asshole, you tell them, yeah, then next thing you know, you got 50 people lined up to take a picture with you. It kind of get irritating, but at the same time, this is what we're doing for. And without the fans, there's no us. So, it just comes with the territory.
Absolutely. And then the last thing for me, Terence, at this stage of your career, with everything you've accomplished and with the way you've accomplished it, what is your biggest motivation at this stage? What do you want to prove? What do you want to showcase? What drives you at this stage of your career to continue being the number one boxer in the world?
Just showing everybody that I'm the best, just competing. That's it. Just proving all the doubters wrong and all the naysayers that I'm the best fighter in the world.
Thank you very much, Sam. And now we go back across the pond to our friends over at Boxing UK. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. It's Steve from Boxing UK. Terence, one of the things Kell said is you haven't faced anyone like him in the past. What do you think Kell brings to the table that you might not have encountered before?
Well, he never faced nobody like me. So he can say I never faced nobody like him, and I can say he never faced nobody like me. And I don't know what he brings to the table because I haven't been there. I haven't been in the ring with him. So we shall see come this week what he brings to the table.
Just moving forward, Terence, over the weekend, Bob Arum said that he was looking for fights against Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. But one of our pound for pounds, Josh Taylor, over the weekend said he would fight you tomorrow. What do you think of that? And if you could pick one, who would you want?
I would pick Manny Pacquiao. Josh Taylor still got unfinished business at 140. He shouldn't be thinking about me right now. He should be thinking about Ramirez.
Thank you very much from our friends over in the UK. And let's see who else we have. We got a bunch more in the queue. So let's go to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thank you. Hey, Terence, maybe this is going to sound crazy for you, but a lot of Mexicans, they put you in the number one of pound for pound instead of Canelo. What is the meaning for you that a lot of Mexicans put you in this place? And if you see in the future, if you grow in weight division, a fight with the Mexican warrior?
Well, that just shows, that a lot of people respect me for what I've accomplished in the sport of boxing. And, Canelo's a tremendous talent. And, I respect everybody's opinion. And I don't never think me and Canelo will fight. He's, 168, 175. I'm just 147. So I'll never see that fight ever really happen.
Very much. And now we go to Josh Katzowitz from Forbes. Josh, please unmute and ask your question when ready.
Hey, Terence. Talked to Errol Spence last week, and he said he thought that if a fight between you guys didn't happen in 2021, he didn't think it was going to happen at all. I'm wondering what you thought about that, and if you thought, obviously I know you're not looking ahead past Kell Brook, but if it doesn't happen with a fight with Spence doesn't happen in 2021, do you think it's just kind of going to go by the wayside?
Yeah, it might, but like I said, I never really felt like I really needed Errol Spence for my legacy or my career. I've accomplished so much in the sport of boxing that, I really didn't need him. Yes, I needed them for my legacy at the welterweight division and becoming a two-time undisputed champion in two different weight classes. But if that fight don't happen, I don't feel like, it hurt my legacy. It just hurt the legacy of the welterweight division.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. I know we have a bunch of people asking questions. Terence got to get back to it. So we'll probably have time for a couple of more before we sign off. So again, anybody wants to raise hands or message me in the private message down below, and we will get to you. We're going to go back to the UK with Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please unmute and go ahead.
Hey, Terence, I didn't really hear your answer before because my internet dropped out. But just going back to the point, does Kell do anything that worries you? In beating Kell, if he's successful on Saturday night, would it be your best win at welterweight?
Given that Kell is a former champion, I wouldn't say that's my biggest win. I still view the Jeff Horn fight as my biggest welterweight win, being that he was coming off a upset victory with Manny Pacquiao. So I feel like, he was the champion at the time. Kell Brook had nothing to lose, a lot to gain. So he really had nothing to offer me but a name. So no, I wouldn't say that's my biggest victory at welterweight.
Thanks, Terence.
Thank you. And next we go to Mr. Lee from Seconds Out. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. How are you?
What's going on?
Good. I was just wondering what you think ahead of Spence's fight on December the 5th. Do you think he's going to come out there with the victory?
I don't know. I'm not even focused on what they got going on. I'm focused on my fight this weekend. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Looks like we have a couple more. Gail, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thanks very much. We'll try to get through this one without another dog barking. Terence, you got
quite a compound there in Nebraska. It seems almost like a team atmosphere. Do you consider that a big advantage to you? And is anything altered that during COVID?
I wouldn't say it's an advantage because at the end of the day, when you get in that ring, can't nobody fight for you. Yes, it's always beautiful with everybody cheering for you and rooting for you, but at the end of the day, you know, we all fighters. We done been in places where everybody booing us and still came out on top. So it just, you know, that warm feeling of having everybody cheer for you and motivate you. But at the end of the day, you still got to fight.
Well, you took a lot of trouble to go to the bubble to see your buddy, Sergeant Herring. So you expect him ringside?
Oh, for sure. You know, I expect him and Steven Nelson to be ringside.
Good luck to you, Terrence.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gail. And I know my apologies. We're not going to get to all the questions for Terrence. Terrence does have to run, so I do apologize for that. Terrence, any closing thoughts as you're one day away from the bubble? And anything else you'd like to say to the fans out there who are going to be watching Saturday night on ESPN and Premier Sports in the UK?
I would like to thank everybody that support Terence Crawford and Team Crawford. Looking forward to this weekend, and I hope everybody tune in and watch for a good show. And I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance.
Well, thank you, Terrence. I'm sure, as always, you will put on a spectacular show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And to remember, Saturday night, 10 p.m., ESPN and ESPN Deportes, undercard, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. And also for our great UK fans, Premier Sports. You can watch it live there as well. Thank you, everybody, and you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Terrence.
Bye.